Hello. Today we will discuss about the prerequisites for the solid mechanics. Means which topics you should remember or you should keep in mind while starting the study of solid mechanics. Okay. So as per my point of view, while starting study of higher subject, you should be remember some previous points that we will discuss for the solid mechanics in today's video. So before starting the prerequisites of solid mechanics, I would like to focus on the structural subjects which are involved in any civil engineering stream or civil engineering branch. So these are the structural subjects that we will learn or that you learn in total civil engineering. First is the engineering mechanics, second solid mechanics, next structural analysis, then structural design, whatever that is steel structure or the RCC structure. If you consider first subject, that is engineering mechanics, so in engineering mechanics you will study the application and the effect of the force on the body, then types of coordinate systems, types of beam and their reactions, and the center of gravity. Actually these parts are most important to um, study or to solve the numericals in solid mechanics. Then in once you go to the solid mechanics, so in solid mechanics you will study the properties of different material, then stress and strain and the deformations concepts, then shear force and bending moment. Actually shear force and bending moment is the next part of your support reaction, so that you will learn in solid mechanics. Once you complete the solid mechanics, so next subject is the structural analysis, and in structural analysis you will see the shear force, bending moment and the fixed bending moment of your beam. And then deflection, you will check the deflection and the behavior of structural members like beam, column, like this. Okay. And once you complete the structural analysis, so obviously next step is to design the members. Okay, or the design your building, whatever that building, that is steel structure or the RCC structure that you will design after the analysis of structure. In that number of bars for the reinforcement the required for RCC structures, you able to calculate the number of bars in RCC structure by after finishing this subject or after finishing study of this subject. Then types of section and the connections for the steel structure. Basically in RCC structures we require the number of bars for the design purpose, and in steel structures we should or we have to calculate the section of particular uh, uh, steel structures. Okay, then these are the structures. Now next is the prerequisite for subject. Okay, so we will start actual prerequisites of structures. So first is the trigonometry and geometry basics. Okay, in trigonometry and geometry basics you should be able to remind or you should be able to apply these formulas. This is the trigonometry formula: sin theta, cos theta, tan theta, cosec theta, sec theta and the cot theta. Okay, so you should remember that formula while calculating the angles, distances of the sides. Okay, so whatever basic points are there, that basic points you should be calculate by using these trigonometric functions. Okay, so we already know that the sin theta equals to opposite side divided by hypotenuse, then cos theta equals to adjacent by hypotenuse, tan theta equals to opposite by adjacent side, sin theta by cos theta. Like this you should remember these formulae to um, calculate the angles and some distances in triangular form. The next is the concept of centroid and center of gravity. So in centroid and center of gravity you should be able to understand these definitions, that is gravity axis of the body, center of gravity, center of mass and the centroid. These definitions you should be remember, or at least you should be remember the concept of these 4 points. Then next is the center of gravity, means you have to able to calculate the center of gravity for lines, area and solids. Okay, but basically for solid mechanics concerned you should be able to calculate center of gravity of area only. Okay, at least you should have knowledge about the area. Means formulae to calculate the CG of area. Suppose rectangular section is given, triangular section is given. So what is the CG of triangular section, rectangular plane sections, square, circle, then semicircle, quarter circle. Okay, you should be able to calculate or apply formulae for particular section. Then next is the unit conversion. Okay, so obviously while calculating the numericals, or while calculating or while solving the any numericals, uh, all units of given data is not in one unit. So that's why we have to convert the all given units in same unit and then solve it. For example, suppose one length is given, and in length suppose your unit is meter. Okay, length of unit is meter, and suppose area is also given, and area of area is given in mm square. Okay, now here your length in meter and the area is mm square. Okay, so while calculating anything or while using these two terms in one formula, you should be convert that both units in one unit, either convert meter in mm square or mm in meter square. Okay, so for the conversion you have to knowledge about the length, area, volume, weight, forces, etc. Okay, so then types of supports. Okay, types of supports. While calculating the support reactions, you should be able to find out the actual supports which are acting on your actual support reactions which are acting on your supports. Okay, now here basically we have four supports as our mechanics consult. Okay, that is simple support, roller support, hinge support, and fixed support. So simple support is no it's very simple. One line is there, and if any support is shown by arrow, okay, that support is called as a simple support. Roller support, now here you can see this is a roller support, and that roller support having the support reaction only one. That thing is also important. Means if you consider any type of support, so how many support reactions on that particular support, that also important to calculate support reaction. Now here I have considered the roller support and the support having horizontal plane. Okay, so that roller support having only one support reaction, and this support reaction is always perpendicular to the plane of roller. Remember, always support reaction is perpendicular to the plane of roller. Means if I consider horizontal, sorry, inclined plane of this roller. Okay, inclined plane of roller support. Now here you can see I have considered the inclined plane, so obviously your reaction is also inclined, because concept is what, the support reaction is always perpendicular to the plane. Okay, if I consider this angle 30 degree, okay, 30 degree, so due to perpendicular this angle is 60 degree, this angle is 60 degree, because this is perpendicular. So like this you can calculate the angle of your support reactions according to the angle of inclined plane. And one thing is, remember, your support reactions for the roller support is always perpendicular to the plane. Now next one is the hinge support. This is your diagram of hinge support. In hinge support also you can consider the support reactions like roller support. One support reaction is perpendicular to the plane of roller, hinge, and the another support reaction is perpendicular to the first support. Now suppose this is our first support, because we have considered this support reaction as per the plane. Okay, according to the plane we have considered this support reaction, so that's why this support reaction is first support reaction, and this is your second support reaction. Okay, so now I have considered a horizontal plane, so obviously our support reaction is vertical. So if your first support reaction is vertical, so another support reaction is horizontal. Similarly, if I consider inclined plane for this hinge support, suppose this is inclined plane of hinge support, so obviously my first support reaction is perpendicular to the plane of this hinge, and another support reaction is perpendicular, you can draw here also. Okay, another support reaction is perpendicular to the another support reaction is perpendicular to the first support reaction. This is your first support reaction because we have taken this support reaction as or with the reference of our plane, and support reaction should be perpendicular to the first support reaction. This is your second support reactions like this. Okay, now next support is a hinge support. Next support is a fixed support. Now this is your diagram of fixed support. Okay, now this fixed support having three support reaction. Again, first support reaction is perpendicular to the plane. Second support reaction is perpendicular to the first support reaction, and one movement is there. You can consider any direction of that movement, either clockwise or anti-clockwise, no problem. Okay, clockwise or anti-clockwise, you can consider any sign convention. Final answer give us the actual position or actual direction of that movement. Okay, so these are the supports. And then next is the beam reaction. While calculating the beam reactions, first we have to apply some equilibrium conditions as per the plane concern. Okay, as per the plane concern. So for plane we have three equilibrium conditions. Okay, for plane we have three equilibrium condition, plane structure. These equilibrium condition is applied for plane structure, that is summation fx is equals to 0, summation fy equals to 0, and summation mz is equals to 0. If I consider the space structure, so space structure having 6 equilibrium condition, that is summation fx, summation fy, and summation fz is equals to 0. Means summation fx is equals to 0, summation fy equals to 0, summation fz is equals to 0, and similarly summation mx is equals to 0, summation my is equals to 0, and summation mz is equals to 0. So like this you can consider the 6 equilibrium conditions for the space, and now here only 3 equilibrium conditions for the plane. Okay, so then after that, types of beams. Okay, basically these are the basic types of beam, that is simply supported beam, cantilever beam, fixed beam, continuous beam, and the propped cantilever beam. And if you go to the diagram of that particular beam, so this is your simply supported beam. Means if beam is resting on simple support, two simple support, that beam is called as a simply supported beam. I repeat, if beam is resting on two simple support, that particular beam is called as a simple support. Then cantilever support, one end is fixed and another end is free, that particular beam is called as a cantilever beam. Fixed beam, if both end having fixed support, so that particular beam is called as a fixed beam. Then continuous beam, if beam having two span, or you can say if beam having two or more span and two or more support reaction, not two, three or more support reaction, that particular beam is called as a continuous beam. Now here you can see I have considered two span, so obviously this is continuous span, and here if you see the support reactions, three support reactions are there. So due to that three support reaction and two span, you can consider this beam is a continuous beam. And next is the propped cantilever beam. Propped cantilever beam is what, one end is fixed and another end is simple support. Okay, so difference between cantilever and propped cantilever is what, one end is fixed. In cantilever your another end is free, and in propped cantilever another end is simple support. Okay, so thank you. These are the prerequisites that you should be remember to before starting the solid mechanics. In next video we will see the numerical on the calculation of support reaction. Okay, thank you. And one more important thing, please like this video and subscribe my channel. Thank you.